Hey guys, Scott Reekers here with Eastmans Hunting Journals, and today I'm here to talk about the Spartan Forge web app and some of the tie-ins that go into their navigation app that is on your phone. But I want to talk just about some of their features. Yes, we've been partnered with Spartan Forge now for about a year to bring you TagHub 2.0, but there are some very unique and cool features that Spartan Forge has that I want to tell you about. And I want to just get into the nitty gritty to make sure that everybody knows all the things that the Spartan Forge app can do and the powerful mapping system that it is. So if you've never tried out the Spartan Forge app, make sure that you download the free app in whatever app store you use. It's available on both Android and on Apple devices. Personally, I've been using the Apple and I love it. It's high resolution and it's been great to use, but you can try it out for free and then you can add a premium membership with Spartan Forge. The first thing that I want to talk about that everyone asks, because it's just become standard across most navigation tools and most mapping tools, is do they have private and public land? Yes, they do. And let me show you real quick how to load all of that and take a look at it. So you will notice up here at the top with Spartan Forge, there are chips. Those chips are how you select what you want displayed. And I'm going to set it on satellite 1 because that's just an imagery for satellites that I use on a regular basis. But if you want to find out what private land is, just click on the private land chip and there it is. And you can zoom in and you can see, and I'm doing up here, I'm doing a little bit of Wyoming elk hunt research. It's that time of year where I'm in purgatory, where I'm waiting to find out what tags I drew. And so I'm still just sitting here staring, looking at my list, trying to figure out what I'm going to be hunting. And hopefully if I drew the tag, fingers crossed, a little bit of luck. But one of the things that is nice is I can research the private and public land, and should I draw this hard to draw elk tag, I may be calling some landowners who I found on Spartan Forge, and I can talk to them about access, talk to them about trespass fees. That's private and public, but also being able to understand in detail where my private and public land boundaries are. That is important. One of the things that I really like, really like inside of Spartan Forge is their 3D mapping. And so you just pop on the 3D map. You can adjust the angle that you're looking at the map really easily with a slider over here, but you can also exaggerate it and take a look at exactly how much detail do you want. I like to over exaggerate a little bit because one of the problems that you have inside of Google Earth is that you're looking at it and it looks like, dude, yeah, I could definitely make it through that saddle. Nope, you can't make it through that saddle. And so one of the other ways that you can really see how steep something is there's this little slope angle chip. So you turn it on, and I've always lived by the mantra with like a gun safety, red, you're dead. Well, on slope angle, if there's red, like a red hue, the darker the orange hue, that's telling you where it's steep. And so you're able to look at that. Now, if you really want to get in depth with that, you can turn on your contour lines. And so I typically do contour lines at about 20 feet. That's been my standard, but you can do 10, 20, 25 feet. As a general rule, when in the old days, I'm in my 40s now. It pains me to say that, but in the old days, I had to look at maps, and if the contour lines were stacked up next to each other, that's when I knew it was steep. This takes all the guesswork out of that and now the next piece is I will add pins and I will also add notes with those pins that tell me this is not a passable spot. So that saves me time. One of the rules of Western hunting is you are always scouting. Even when you are out hunting, you are still scouting your travel route, you're still scouting your path. And so I'll leave pins in places with a note that says this is not going to be a good spot. Because sometimes when you're on your phone and you're moving fast on a stalk, it's really easy to miss those details when you're studying things and trying to figure those things out. So I will leave a pin with a note, and that's very easy to do inside of Spartan Forge. I've been a big fan of taking notes on my hunts ever since I read Mike Eastman's Hunting High Country Mule Deer book. Taking notes on a hunt is important. And this is just a digital way to do that. I can reference from the desktop app. I can reference it on my mobile app. And really cool thing is you can sync the two and all of your waypoints will be here the whole time no matter what is going on. And by the way, guys, in Eastman's Bow Hunting Journal, issue 144, I've got a whole tech tip that is about my scouting process and how I use TagHub 2.0, partnered with Spartan Forge, and all the features to do my e-scouting for the year. And it worked really well. So a lot of this, if you want a written reference beyond just this video, Go read that. You can see how I went through that scouting process and how I was able to pick some of the hunts. I also went through another little tip for you. I've got an elk and a deer tag in Montana, so I used TagHub to build my application strategy based on when I had windows of time open and season dates. So I was able to quickly reference in TagHub when the previous season dates were, the projected season dates, if we had that, and be able to build the plan to make sure that I'm not double booking. Nothing is worse than having 2 great tags in your pocket and having to turn one in. Building a good strategy is a huge piece of the equation. All right. Now, back to Spartan Forge. So you come down here to front and center at the bottom, and there's this little navigation tool where you can see this is how you can add your waypoints. Now, adding waypoints, to me, everyone, like, oh, that's real easy, that's real simple. Well, there are some pretty cool features here inside these waypoints that are a little bit different. There are something that you can take advantage of. So I'll use the recent waypoints, and you guys can see here on the screen that I use the Eastmans waypoint all of the time. But you can go here, you can label things deer trail. If you're in a state that allows you to use cell cams, you can label your cell cam there. There's nothing more frustrating than when you get into a navigation app and your waypoints aren't labeled what they are. All of these images are a very easy reference that allow you to see what you've done where. Then the best part too is for each waypoint, you can add a picture. So if you've got a trail cam that you've hidden in a spot and you want to make sure that you know exactly where it is, take a picture of the tree that you put it on. Because a waypoint's going to be accurate, but the tighter you zoom in, you may have set that waypoint 10 feet away from the actual trail cam itself. Another cool piece with this is that you can put on here access. Now, one of the things that I have discovered is not every parking lot is in every navigation app for all of the hunter management areas or the walk-in areas. I've found that sometimes parking spots, they're just not on the maps. Something changed. Sometimes a landowner will change things mid-season. They need to move like a tractor through an area and it's access to to Forest Service, things of that nature. You can label an access pin as well. So that's a cool feature that's there. So take the time and explore all the different pins that you have an option inside of Spartan Forge. Another cool piece that comes along with the mapping is you have options on how to turn off different different infrastructure pieces, turn them off and on, and basically what it allows you to do is get rid of clutter on your map. I'm going to switch the infrastructure on. I want roads, building, and water. I want all of those labeled. Be able to see where there are roads and different pieces that I want to go along with that. I'm also going to turn on all the trails because I feel like that is important. This is for when you are doing access scouting. It's good to know all of this. The majority of the time you will find all the roads that are there and you want to be able to look at them and you want to be able to see them and see them well. And so that's important here. The other piece of the equation is if it is a named road that has a number on it, generally speaking, there is an easement. Always do your homework. I'm sure there's some exception across the West with that. But if there is a road that has a number on it, you have access to it. But that's also great places to put pins. I put pins in places wherever there are turns because sometimes you're not going to have access to Apple Maps when you're at the top of a mountain. And so putting pins where I need to turn is my way of navigating down a road because I don't have cell service, but my GPS inside the Spartan Forge app is always working. So I'm able to use that. There's also the weather. You're able to take in the weather. For the whitetail guys out there, there's movement predictions. I really like it. I used movement prediction this last year and it was crazy where it said that the wind was going to change at this specific time and it was going to be full range of motion. I was sitting in a deer stand, the wind changed, and at 6:30 that night, there were does crossing in front of me immediately. And so the predictive analysis that comes from when they're going to be working in their full range and when they're going to be moving, that part is huge. So for all you whitetail guys back east, that's a huge feature. There's a lot more whitetail tags now across the West, so I'd encourage you guys to use and take a look at them, especially with mule deer not doing well. Being able to help with the management of whitetails that are encroaching on typical mule deer winter range, that's an important thing to do. So learn and understand the species that you're hunting, but the weather patterns are going to matter. I'm also going to say this, full range of motion, if you can look at full range of motion for conditions up in the high country with elk hunting, that's going to be a good thing to look at too, because conditions are king. They dictate many things inside of the rut. Now, full disclosure, I don't believe there's any elk data in here yet as far as elk and rut movement, things of that nature. However, that may be something that, you know, if you really want to see that inside of Spartan Forge, shoot them a message, let them know. That's a good conversation piece. So then you're also able to download and look at all the offline maps. I'm scrolling through here. I have all kinds of offline maps that I use for different areas, and you're able to sync those. You're able to sync and look at them. You know, you can see what you have as offline maps on your desk app, but it tells you what you have, so you can explore that and look very easily. Guys, this is the Spartan Forge app. I'm only touching the surface. Like, I could do probably a review every week and tell you all the different features that are there. And with their background in technology and what they're able to do and how well they have built this app already, and bear in mind that they are constantly working and developing and growing this platform, it is going to look better and better every single year. So I would tell you guys, download the free app, give their web app, a run through, take a look at the mobile app. I really like the mobile app. It's kind of cool. You can actually adjust some of your features on the screen. So, you know, if you like being able to access certain things on the left side or the right side, you can do your navigation tools there as well. So just lots of little features. Like I said, I can't hammer on enough all the different things that are there. While I've got you here, make sure that you have subscribed to the Eastmans YouTube channel so that we can get all the gear reviews right in front of you every single week. You'll get notifications. We work hard on these, and we want to make sure that you guys have all the information to be successful this fall.